what my job description is? I'm in acquisitions. I look up and I catch what falls out of the sky.
What's on the ship?
Tell me about the mission. Did you see anything unusual?
It's above our pay grade. Can I get a cookie now?
Look, I get it. Something went down in Mexico. Nobody wants any witnesses. We need to know if you and your men pose a threat.
We're rangers.
Hey, Baxley, if your mom's vagina were a video game, it'd be rated E for everyone.
Who's posing a threat? Kind of the fucking point.
Predators just don't sit around making hats out of rib cages. They conquered space. But that's not what's on the horizon.
Should I be worried?
Riley.
I think you know what is on the ship.
Light him up!
We may die. We're still here. So come and get us, motherfucker.
The Predator is the fourth installment in the Predator franchise that was released on September 14th, 2018. If you have been subscribed to me for a while, you will know that I really enjoy the original Predator movie. And that movie, Predators. So now I'll be looking at the latest installment in the series. I've not seen Predator 2, so I can't really say whether I like it or not. Let's just see if the Predator is good. The Predator monsters are back, and this time more lethal than ever. A middle school boy triggers their return to Earth accidentally. It is up to a ragtag team of ex-soldiers and a disgruntled science teacher to stop the human race from going extinct. Honestly, I don't want to spend too much time on describing this movie's premise, because this movie is fucking awful. Yeah, that is no surprise. But don't get me wrong, I loved the original 1987 Predator, and I even enjoyed Predators. But this one just abandons its roots from the jungle, from setting it in the jungle, and it just goes to the real world, which is way too much of a departure. But this may sound strange, but I don't even know if it's worthy of all the hate that it gets. I had to think long and hard about my thoughts were on this movie, because I could not put my finger on why I hated it so much. It doesn't have the worst story of all time. It doesn't have the worst characters of all time. It doesn't have the worst writing of all time. It's not even close to having the worst action scenes of all time. And in all honesty, I could care less if it's set in the real world, because it helps it stand out from the others. And I could see that working somehow. So why do I hate this movie? Well, it's because of the tone. This may not make a whole lot of sense to you guys, but the tone of a movie is something that I take into consideration every now and again. Sometimes the tone of a movie can prevent me from liking it regardless of how good it is. It's kind of why I didn't enjoy 42 all that much. While the movie has really strong elements, it gives off terrible implications and gives me a feeling that it was written by a bunch of holier-than-thou hypocrites, which of course may not even be remotely true, but that's the feeling I get from that movie. It is the exact same deal with The Predator. The tone of this movie just pisses me off. Why is this? Well, let me explain. The original Predator movie was about a bunch of testosterone-fueled military men, and you get the feeling that the movie really supported the idea of men enjoying a rush of violence because it satisfied their testosterone. Even Predators carried over that idea, even when it seemed like it was sort of abandoning it. But The Predator is the first movie that not only doesn't have that idea at all, it actively discourages it. One scene of dialogue tells me that it does. When the son of Quinn McKenna, Rory, says, what makes you good or evil if you kill? Or something like that. Quinn answers, when you're liking it, you're evil, or some shit like that. Fuck off, Quinn. Not only does that go against everything that the entire fucking franchise was trying to get across, but it reinforces the delusion that there is always a simple answer to everything. What makes one evil is not whether or not they enjoy killing. I would argue that the need for some kind of violence or hostility is a hidden quality of everyone. What makes someone truly evil might be the cause they are killing for or who they are killing. Making blanket statements like this could make people feel unnecessary guilt and only encourage people to never say what they really mean. This has led to a lot of goddamn problems. The tone is also inconsistent, which is another reason to dislike the tone. Seeing how one of the characters is played by Keegan-Michael Kay, there is a lot of attempts at raunchy comedy in this movie. But honestly, I was actually kind of digging it. That is until that fucking line that Quinn said later. The implications of that line alone are arguably fucking worse. Also, Keegan-Michael Kay's character, who is, by the way, the closest to the testosterone-fueled soldiers of the previous Predator movies, ends up dying in the movie, which only further solidifies that this movie really fucking hates testosterone in general. Because his character dies, the comedy vanishes completely for the rest of the movie. It gives a whole fantasy drama kind of feel, which is just fucking jarring considering everything that happened to this point. Adding to this is the fact that Rory is kind of a soft-spoken character that I've seen before, and honestly, they have been done better. The only other facet of his personality that I found was that he is in middle school, and that just gives me flashbacks to hell. But to be honest, this part might have been good if the rest of the movie did not feel like it was written by a bunch of people who hate the Predator franchise. I'm not fucking exaggerating. I say this movie feels like fucking intentional sabotage. This story is just an insult. And that is all it goddamn is. At least to the Predator franchise. Now, the action scenes are actually pretty fucking good. There are a good amount of gunplay. There is a good amount of gunplay, explosions, and blood, and it is filmed and edited quite nicely, all things considered. Too bad it feels like the filmmakers are saying that you shouldn't like it. I cannot bitch about this enough. But I want this review to be... But I also don't want this review to go on for too long. So let's just go on to the production values. The cinematography, editing, sound, sets, and visual effects are all very well done. I don't really have any complaints when it comes to them. The music is forgettable, but I can easily look past that. But overall, The Predator is a pretty terrible movie in the end. This movie should not even be in the Predator franchise. Not only does it have nothing that made the other Predator movies good, it will punish you for enjoying those things. That is one of the most insulting fucking things that a movie can do. God damn this movie. It sucks horse cock. But admittedly, it does have nice production values and action scenes, but yeah, that's about it. I give The Predator 1 out of 5 stars with the title of horrible. Anyway, I'm Spike Robot. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed it, by all means subscribe. I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a hiatus to write a short story, but once I get it done, I will be making more videos. See you next time. Support our troops.